Was put in by the bankers to get the control grid. He is moving very, very fast. First, he's getting the Real ID implemented very aggressively. Real ID. To do a control grid, you need a very high quality precision national ID. And he's got Kristi Noem out there pushing the Real ID like there's no tomorrow. The feds are pushing it. The second thing you need is an all digital financial system. So you got to kill cash and you got to make everybody interact digitally. He's canceled pennies, but he's also canceled now. Normally I pay my taxes with paper, and now he's saying, no, you got to do everything digital. He's trying to, if you go through that list, I've got 50 different items of what he's doing. If you think this is improvement, you have another thing coming. This is going to be the digital equivalent of the pallets of cash sent to Iraq. You're literally going to tender for the global population, try and get everybody off of their local currency into stable coins, and you're going to pump out massive amounts of private credit to make it really attractive.
You don't think the BRICS would try to compete with this?
I think as soon as you pass the Genius Act, it can go very, very fast. You could really see the world rock. Trump and Musk are implementing the control grid at high speed. To do a control grid, we need a digital ID implemented that's very high quality, high precise. Check the box. We need an all digital financial system. Check the box. We need a way of doing interoperable money. Check the box. We need a social credit system. To me, I want to build a social credit system that can be used to enforce control against the American people and basically lock them down with both enforcement and social credit. I would privatize it. I would just take it and put it in private AI with XAI and Palantir AI.
It's coming for 20 years. Well, it's here. Sweden just implanted microchips into people's hands, turning humans into walking wallets. No cash, no cards, no wallets, by implanting tiny microchips under their skin. About the size of a grain of rice, these chips act as digital IDs, payment methods, and access cards, all in one. From letting them pay for coffee, unlock doors, or ride trains with just a swipe of their hand. It works much like the contactless tap we use on cards, but here, the card is under your skin. Even IKEA tested going fully cash-free and discovered that hardly any customers use bills. I'm never against technology, but this one can cost your soul. But not everyone is celebrating. Seniors and immigrants worry about being left behind, and critics warn of privacy risks if implants ever connect to health records or government IDs. Sweden is showing the world just how far digital life can go. But a question remains, would you put a chip in your hand to pay for coffee? No way. What about you? Subscribe to learn more about 666, the mark of the beast. And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free-of-charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that.
Well, you just heard it straight from the horse's mouth. This has been a part of the globalist parasites plan for the longest time. Digital ID, the chip that you're going to get in your hand to pay for things, is the mark of the beast, as spoken about in the book of Revelations. You guys notice he said, we're going to give you a free digital ID. If something is free in this world, then you are the product. Think of what was happening in 2020 with all this stuff, guys. Think about that. If you just blindly accept these things, then you are blindly accepting slavery straight up. I do have a lot of hopes that humanity is going to stand up and not accept this shit, because we can't. So the time is now to come together. Peace and love.
Mark of the beast. The Bible says they're going to receive a mark in their right hand or forehead, and you cannot buy or sell without this mark. I have studied this a lot. I'm sure no expert, but I believe we've already got it available today. This little microchip, about the size of a grain of rice, that's been developed for 20 years now. They've been 15 or 20 years they've been using this. Dean Martin came to speak to our staff about the microchip. He took one of his little chips, put it under his arm, and walked past his laptop computer, which had a little sensor built into it. You here for that, Diane? And up on the screen flashed his name, address, phone number, social security number, birth date. The chip doesn't store any of that. The chip stores a code that triggers the computer to find all that. The technology is already here to make a little chip that's a transponder. Your radio frequency goes out, energizes the chip, which has no battery. The antenna picks up the energy and sends back, here's my number. I am number, 325C95, whatever. Exxon gas station, you can buy these called Speed Pass. You walk up, pump your gas, touch the pump, get in your car and drive off. McDonald's is doing this. You carry a little chip on a keychain. You walk up, touch the McDonald's cash register, pay for your food. Anybody ever seen that before? It's been available for 5 or 6 years. This article came out in CNN. Is human chip implant wave of the future? Years ago, people have been putting chips in themselves to activate their whole house. Kevin Warwick's really big on this. When he walks into the room, the light comes on. His whole house is computerized, and it's all based on a chip that he's got in his arm. So, it can be done. Hitachi Corporation developed a new Mu chip, which only holds 128 bits. So that's the size of it right there. 0.4 millimeters. You can put it inside a piece of paper and not find it. There's a family in Florida a couple years ago was real proud of themselves. They put microchips in because they have health problems. And in case they get hurt in an accident, they can scan their body and find out, oh, this is George, he's got hemophilia, whatever, you know. There's a little chip there. You can see the antenna, which receives the radio signal. That signal energizes the antenna, which activates it to send back its signal. It gets its energy from an outside source. But as far as using money, the Bible says the love of money, root of all evil. This microchip technology is going to be used to develop a one world currency. All cash is going to become obsolete. You're going to have a chip in your hand or in your forehead, or you cannot buy or sell. And we are racing toward that reality right now. I don't know how much longer it's going to be. I don't think there's going to be a grand moment when Christians can stand up and say, you're not giving me that chip, you know, I'm going to go stand up for God. It's just going to be a simple matter of you get slowly choked out of society. You just can't buy here. Sorry, we don't take cash. We don't take credit cards. All we take is you got to have a chip. It's going to solve a lot of problems.